description and feature specification. And then also after lunch, we will have a second topic, which is formalizing or stating phonological rules in two different ways. One which is using sound description, and the other one having the symbols for stating phonological rules, which is what was shown in the previous presentation last class that we didn't cover. Okay, so let's start. Okay, sound description. Sound description is simply the way you will talk about sounds. Okay, if I say, for example, the sound T, okay, there is a way, there is an order in which you will describe that sound. I cannot simply say, oh, that's a stop alveolar voiceless. No, or that's a voiceless stop alveolar, or that's, I cannot play with the order. There is a right order for speaking about sounds. So this is what sound description pretty much is about, okay? So consonant sounds are described in this way. The first thing you will say about consonant sounds is voicing, okay? Whether the sound is voiced or voiceless, that's the first thing you will describe. Obviously, there are some sounds that have no voicing differentiation at all. Like, for example, glides are always voiced, so you don't say voiced glide, you simply say glide. Or liquids, you don't say voiced liquid. Okay, so immediately you take away the voicing. But for those sounds that do have that voicing distinction, the first characteristic or the first feature that you will describe in sound description is voicing. Like in this example, right? You have the, I have to say voiced, because if I don't specify voiced, then I am also including the T. Okay, if I only say alveolar stop, there are two alveolar stops, which are in this case the and T. So I do have to specify voiced because it is, a distinctive feature. The second characteristic or feature that we have to specify is the place of articulation. So remember, the first thing is whether the vocal cords vibrate or not, or do not vibrate. So basically you have the voicing stuff here. The second feature is where the obstruction of the air is made. In this case, remember, we have alveolar sounds, we have velar sounds, we have bilabial sounds, palatal sounds, etc. Right? So that is the place of articulation, where the obstruction is made. So in this case, the D sound is alveolar, which means that the constriction of the air or the obstruction of the air is made in the alveolar ridge. And the last characteristic that you should state is the manner of articulation, how that sound will be articulated, or in this case, how the air is going to be obstructed. So in the D sound, for example, remember there is a complete obstruction of the air, which makes it a stop sound. So we have a voiced alveolar stop for describing the D. And then we also have another voiced sound here, which is a voiced labiodental fricative. Okay, look at this. I put fricative in parentheses and with this little asterisk right here, which makes it a little important, okay? What happens? There are, if you take a look at the consonant chart in the classification of consonant sounds, if I only say voiced alveolars, voice alveolar, and I don't specify stop, then I am also including the n sound, the n, right? N as in night. I am including the n because n nasal sounds are always voiced, and then that is also an alveolar sound. So in this case, it is necessary to write stop, okay? If I say only alveolar stop, then I am including the t, okay? That is also an alveolar stop, but in this case it's voiceless, but I am not specifying the voicing. So in this case, in the first case, to talk about the the, for example, it is necessary to specify the three characteristics. When talking about the v sound, if I say voiced labiodental, it is enough. I don't have, or it is not necessary to specify fricative, because in the case of v or labiodentals, there are only two labiodental sounds, okay? If I say only labiodental, I am specifying only two sounds, which are in this case, which is a voiceless, and v, which is a voiced. So if I say voiced labiodental, there is only one voiced labiodental. So no ambiguity is arising from this description, okay? If I say fricative, obviously it is not wrong, but it is not necessary, okay? So when giving a sound description, the simpler the better. Try to just find the features that are necessary for the description. Do not include unnecessary features. In the case of tha and da, for example, interdental sounds, there are only two interdental sounds, right? So it is not necessary to specify that they are affricate, because those are the only two affricate sounds, but they are only two interdental sounds. So as soon as you write the description of the place of articulation, the manner of articulation is not important. Okay? Is that clear? So that's just the sound description. Look at this. Remember, the sound description is just the way you talk about sounds. But look at this. Sound description is basically using words. Okay? Voiced, alveolars, stop. So you're not using any specific or any new features. It's simply putting words in the right order, and also putting the right words, the necessary words for a specific description, okay? That is called sound description. In vowels, there is also a right order to specify the description or to describe each of them, okay? The first characteristic is height or highness, which is in this case, if you remember the vowel grid, you have height or highness, you have backness, and then also that works like voicing in consonants. You also have tenseness. Okay, remember there are some sounds that are in the same description, but the only difference between them is tenseness. For example, the E and E, right? So E is tense, A is lax, but they are both high front vowels. Okay, so this is just the order, the right order in which you will describe vowel sounds. Examples, as you can see, we have two tense vowels here. So we have mid front tense and high back tense. If I only write mid front and then I omit, right, the tense characteristic, then I am also including the other e, which is the lax e. Okay, if I omit, for example, front and only say mid tense, I am also including the o, right? Because it's also a mid tense. It's a mid back tense, but it's also a mid tense. Okay, so in this case, these three features are necessary to specify this sound, in this case the tense A, right? Same happens with the U. If I take away the high and only say back tense, I am also specifying O. Okay, if I take away back and only say high tense, then I am also specifying the E. Okay, and if I say high back and take out tense, then I am specifying the U, the other U, which is the lax U. Okay, so in this case, when talking about vowels, you need to try to get as many features as possible, features that are necessary to specify that sound. Obviously, if I write a bunch of sounds here, right, I say a, and then also write o and o, you simply say mid vowels. Okay, mid vowels, because I am specifying all the mid vowels. I don't have to say, oh, one is mid front lax, the other one is mid front tense, and the other one is mid back tense, and you don't have to specify one by one. You simply take the bunch of vowels, try to get the characteristics that they have in common. If it is only one, well, simply write one, which is mid. Okay, they are all mid vowels. No more mid vowels there. Okay, do you have any questions? Remember, this is the right order that you need to follow, right? You're gonna follow this order for describing sounds. Doesn't matter if you're describing consonants or vowels. Remember, there is a specific order for that, right? In fact, we did that sound description in the first workshop, but I didn't take that order into account because we didn't study it for that workshop. So I didn't take word order into account. So, but now obviously I will. So you gotta be careful now. Okay, after you have the sound description, okay, now you go into feature specification. Feature specification is just like the scientific language for that sound description. Okay,